Last month, I sat down on a Sunday afternoon and scripted 9 videos before dinner. Not outlines, not bullet points, full teleprompter scripts, B-roll notes, YouTube descriptions, and short form cuts for an entire month of content. Done. Here's exactly how that actually works because it's not what most agents think that it is. I'm Estees, and this is how I build a month of content in an afternoon. The actual tools, the actual workflow, no vague, just be consistent advice. For a long time, I scripted the way that most agents do. 1 video at a time whenever I had a spare hour. Monday, I'd have an idea. By Thursday, I'd finally sit down to write it out. And by the time it filmed, the moment that made it worth talking about usually had passed. The real cost wasn't the wasted time, it was the inconsistency. Some weeks I'd post 3 times, some weeks nothing. And a 24/7 nurture system doesn't work if it goes quiet for 10 days at a time. The whole point of using YouTube as a database tool is that it's always there, always working, whether I'm at a showing or asleep. A gap in posting isn't just a missed upload. It's 10 days where the system stops doing its job. There's a decision fatigue cost too. One that doesn't show up until you actually try to do this every single week. Before I film anything, I have to know what I'm saying. If that decision gets made fresh every time, staring at a blank page, trying to remember what I already covered, trying to sound like myself under a deadline, that's exhausting in a way that has nothing to do with how much I actually know about my business. I know my business well, very well. What was breaking me was the writing under pressure part, not the content itself. I can give you the exact version of this that used to happen to me. I'd have a good idea on Monday, something worth saying, something timely. By Wednesday, I still hadn't written it down anywhere. I just carried it around in my head, half formed. By Friday, either I'd forgotten the sharp version of it entirely and was just left with a dull, generic restatement, or the moment that made it worth talking about, a piece of the industry news, a conversation with an agent, a pattern I'd noticed, that had already passed. Either way, what actually got filmed was a weaker idea than the one I had 4 days earlier. That gap between good idea and filmed idea was where all my best content was quietly dying. So here's what changed. I don't script 1 video at a time anymore. I don't start from a blank page either. I use Claude, set up as a dedicated project specifically for this channel. And inside that project, I've got 3 separate chats, 1 for each pillar: agent interviews, my niche, and my brokerage explained. The separation matters more than it sounds like it should. If everything lived in one giant conversation, an interview with the Wolfpack agent would start bleeding into EXP mechanics breakdowns and the voice would get muddy. Keeping pillars separate means each conversation only ever has to hold the context for that one lane. So when I open the EXP Explain chat, it already knows the CTA rules for EXP content. It already knows what hooks I like, and it already knows the 4 PDF stacks that the pillar requires. It also means each pillar develops its own memory over time. The My Niche chat remembers which system topics I've already covered, so I'm not accidentally scripting the same Trello video twice. The agent interview chat remembers the 7 locked questions and the sensitivity rules for the guests. I'm not carrying all of that in my own head anymore. The structure carries it for me, which is exactly the kind of offloading that makes batching 9 videos in one sitting actually possible instead of overwhelming. The project itself holds the rules that apply everywhere. My brand voice, my contact info, the palette for every PDF, the CTA routine logic, and even the small stuff like the never repeating the same closing line twice in a row. So I'm never re-explaining who I am or how I want things formatted every single time I sit down. I bring the topic. Sometimes it's a list I already have in mind. Sometimes I just say, let's brainstorm a few. And we narrow it down together right there in the chat. Either way, the script gets written in front of me, line by line, so I can react to it, cut what sounds off, sharpen a number, push back if something doesn't sound like me. The review step matters more than people assume though. I'm still the one who catches it if a line makes an assumption about my market that isn't true, or if a claim needs a more specific number instead of a vague one. Nothing moves to production until I actually read and approve it. That approval step isn't a formality, it's the one place accuracy and voice both get checked before anything gets built, and it's exactly why I can hand off everything downstream of that point without worrying about it. Claude handles the writing, the actual script, word for word. Manus is a layer of content batching that gets handled once the script is locked. And between the two, the mechanical parts of turning an approved script into something ready to hand off, they stop eating up my afternoon the way that they used to. That decision matters because it means I'm not bottlenecking for every single step. The part that has to be me, which is approving the actual words, making sure the numbers are right, making sure it sounds like me, that stays with me. The parts that don't have to be me aren't. I'm not sitting there formatting the same fields over and over and over and over, video after video, just because nobody else was going to do it. The tool does the repeatable part. I do the part that actually requires judgment. Here's the part that actually saves the hours. Once a script is approved, it doesn't just become a document sitting in a folder, it becomes a full production stack. Every time, the same structure. A clean teleprompter script for me to read on camera, nothing on it but the words that I'm saying. A time-stamped, edited script with B-roll prompts and on-screen text cues built for my VA, so he's not guessing what I meant by a scene. A full YouTube backend, so that's your SEO titles, the description with keyword clusters, and time stamps, tags, thumbnail concept, pinned comments, the whole upload checklist, and a short form package so that the clips are already planned before the raw footage even gets shot. That whole stack drops straight into Trello. Every video is a card. The card holds the due date, which is always a Tuesday or a Friday, and all 4 PDFs and direct link to Google Drive folder where I upload the raw footage for my VA to edit. That all goes into that card. My VA then opens up the card and has everything. The script that's already filmed, the shot list, the backend copy, and the posting plan. Nothing lives in a text thread or memory. It's all sitting in one place he already knows to check. That's the piece that used to eat an entire evening every single week. Typing out a description, hunting for tags that I wasn't even sure were gonna work, trying to remember what I wanted the thumbnail to say, and then separately texting my VA the shot list because I'd forgotten to write it down anywhere. Now, it's already done by the time the card hits the board. He's not waiting on me midweek for a detail I forgot to mention. And because it's a repeatable structure, same 4 PDFs, same fields every time, nothing about a new video ever starts from a blank page. Not the script and not what happens to it afterwards. The reason this works isn't that I'm typing faster than before, it's that batching removes the decision fatigue of what do I post this week entirely. When 9 scripts already exist, filming stops being a creative act and becomes pure execution. No research rabbit holes midweek, no half-finished ideas sitting in a notes app for a month, and no Sunday night scramble because Tuesday's upload doesn't exist yet. And because everything gets drafted inside one ongoing project, the voice stays consistent too. I'm not reinventing my tone every Tuesday morning. I'm already collaborating it, video after video, chat after chat. So what comes out sounds like me on a good day and a bad day, not like whatever mood I happen to be in when I sat down to write it. There's a compounding effect here too that I didn't expect going in. Because the script already exists before filming day, I actually show up to film with more energy, not less. I'm not simultaneously trying to write and perform at the same time, which is a genuinely difficult thing to do well. I just have to deliver the words that are already right there. That's a completely different mental task than creating them on the spot, and it shows on camera. The videos that come out of batching days are noticeably more confident than the ones that I used to shoot on a Tuesday scramble. Now, you don't need my exact setup to get the benefit of this. The principle is what matters. Separate the writing from the filming and batch both. Block one afternoon a month to get scripts locked in using whatever tools make sense for you. Then treat every filming day as pure execution, not creative decision making. The agents who post consistently aren't the ones with more free time than everyone else. They are the ones who stop making content decisions one day at a time. If you're not using AI tools yet, the version of this that matters most isn't the software, it's the separation itself. Even with a notebook and a Sunday afternoon, you can write 5 topics down. You can rough out what you'd actually say and walk into the week with content already decided instead of still being decided. The tool just makes that afternoon shorter and the output more complete. The underlining shift, deciding once, executing repeatedly. That is what actually changes whether you post twice a month or twice a week. If you want to see exactly how this is set up, the project structure in Claude, the way Manus fits in, and how it all lands in my Trello, text me at 520-980-9880. I will walk you directly through it. And if you want to watch this system in action every month, you should subscribe. I'm Estees, I'm with eXp Realty, and I'll see you out there.